I have a confession. I didn't just uncover my husband's affair, I orchestrated its exposure. I set a trap and watched their secrets spill out under the harsh light of truth. And I don't regret it. But to understand why I did what I did, you need to know how it all began. It started as so many stories do, with trust and innocent hope. A year ago, I truly believed I had the perfect life. I was 32, married to my college sweetheart, and my younger sister was my best friend. We were a tight family. Trust was the air I breathed, and I never imagined it could be poisoned. I remember the day I introduced my husband to my sister. It was a warm spring afternoon. The smell of fresh-cut grass and lilacs drifted through the yard as we gathered for a family barbecue. My sister, let's call her Anna, wore a yellow sundress and that signature jasmine perfume of hers. I can still recall that sweet, floral scent hanging in the air as she hugged him hello. At the time, that memory was pure and happy. Little did I know that same jasmine scent would later cling to my husband's shirt like a ghost, haunting me with suspicion. From the beginning, I thought my husband and Anna got along almost too well. But I was glad. I wanted my husband to feel like part of the family. Anna was always so supportive of us. She even gave a teary-eyed toast at our wedding, saying she'd never seen me so happy. I believed every word. Looking back, I wonder if any of it was real, or if she was already wearing a mask. You might think I was naive for not seeing any warning signs. Maybe I was. But back then, I had no reason to doubt them. Life went on, blissful and ordinary. My husband, I'll call him Mark, and I settled into our cozy home on Maple Street. I teach at the local elementary school, and Mark works in finance downtown. Every evening we'd cook dinner together, dance in the kitchen to old love songs, laugh about silly inside jokes. Anna would drop by often, sometimes unannounced, with a bottle of wine or an extra dessert from a recipe she was testing. I treasured those nights. My sister, my husband, and me curled up on the sofa, watching movies until midnight. In those moments, I felt overwhelmingly lucky, as if I had everything I ever wanted. The first rail crack appeared a few weeks later. Late one evening, I walked past our home office and found Mark's phone buzzing on his desk. Normally, I respect his privacy, but a name flashed on the screen that caught my eye. It was Anna. That was odd. She rarely texted him directly, especially so late. A single message preview glowed on the screen. "Can't wait to see you again, Red Heart." My heart lurched. My mind tried to reason it away. Maybe it was about meeting at a family event or something innocent. But the heart emoji. My hand trembled as I unlocked his phone, something I'd never done before. The full conversation unveiled itself like a nightmare. There were dozens of messages, flirty banter, plans to meet behind my back, even a few intimate photos, each new line making my stomach twist. They even joked about how clueless I was. My hands turned ice cold and my vision blurred with tears as my world shattered around me. I could barely breathe. I wanted to scream, to confront them immediately, but something in me hesitated. Instead, I quietly forwarded the entire chain of messages to my own phone as evidence. My hands were shaking so violently I nearly dropped his phone. In that moment, a part of me died, the naive part that believed blindly in the people I loved. He found me sitting in the dark with tears on my cheeks, and he actually asked, "Honey, what's wrong?" I forced a shaky smile and lied that a sad movie made me cry. When he tried to comfort me, I flinched away. That night I lay in bed next to him, eyes open, rage and hurt churning inside me. I wanted to scream at him then and there, but a new voice in my mind whispered, "Not yet, not until you can make them pay." The days that followed were the hardest of my life. Pretending everything was fine, when inside I was shattered. I still made his coffee in the morning, still kissed him goodbye as he left for work, acting like nothing had changed. I saw Anna twice that week, Each time I forced myself to hug her and smile, when all I wanted was to scream. My performance was good. Maybe too good, because neither of them suspected I knew. They carried on their charade, and I played along, dying a little more each day behind the mask of a dutiful wife and sister. At night, when Mark slept soundly, I would slip out of bed and sit in the living room, arms wrapped around my knees. I'd cry silently, or just stare blankly at the wall until dawn's first light. I felt utterly alone. I couldn't bring myself to tell even my closest friend or my mother, not yet. Shame kept me silent, a warped sense of guilt, as if I had done something wrong or wasn't enough to keep him faithful. One night about a week later, I found a photo from my wedding. Me beaming in white, Mark at my side, and Anna as my maid of honor. Looking at our once happy faces, a surge of anger pierced through my grief. How could they do this? I wondered. In that moment, my sorrow hardened into resolve. They had shattered my world. I would force them to face the truth of what they'd done. That very night, I began planning. I gathered every bit of evidence I had. Texts, photos, timestamps, laying out the full ugly picture. Each piece was a brick in the case I was building. If they had turned my life into rubble, I would use those broken pieces to expose them. Determined, I decided I wouldn't confront them in private. That felt too small. They betrayed me within our family, so I would expose them in front of our family. Christmas Eve at my parents' house would be perfect. Everyone would be there. It was a month away, and I could maintain the charade that long, fueled by the promise of their reckoning. Meanwhile, I continued my act flawlessly. To Mark, I remained the loving, if a bit busy wife. To Anna, the cheerful sister planning the holidays. Inside, my anger smoldered, but I never let it show. Every day I kept up the facade. I grew more certain that I was doing the right thing. In December, I set a trap. I told Mark I'd be out of town for a girls' weekend, and he eagerly urged me to go, no doubt planning to see Anna. But I never left town. That Friday night, I secretly returned home. The house was dark, and I soon heard quiet laughter in the living room. Peering in, I found them together on our couch, wrapped in each other's arms. My stomach churned, but I steadied myself and hit record on my phone, capturing a few seconds of their betrayal. I must have made a noise, because suddenly they noticed me. We locked eyes. Mark went white as a sheet and Anna gasped, scrambling upright. Cold. Don't mind me, I said softly, stepping into view with my phone raised. Neither managed a single word before I turned and walked out the door. Their panicked voices chased me into the night, but I was already gone. Driving away, my hands trembled, but I felt grim satisfaction. That weekend, they bombarded my phone with calls, but I let them sweat in silence. I spent 2 nights in a motel, crying until I had no tears left. When I finally returned home on Sunday, Mark was gone, likely hiding at a friend's place or with Anna. That was fine. I had no need to see either of them until the day of my reveal. All that mattered now was executing my plan. I had a lot to prepare for the Christmas Eve gathering. In the days leading up, I stayed with my parents ostensibly to help with decorations and cooking. I wanted to be surrounded by family who truly loved me. It kept me strong and focused. I told my mom and dad that Mark would join on Christmas Eve after finishing some work project, another lie to cover his absence. In reality, I hadn't spoken a word to him or my sister since that night. They were in hiding, probably dreading what I might do. Good. Let them sweat. Christmas Eve came, and my entire family gathered at my parents' house, full of holiday cheer. The house glowed with warmth and chatter. No one suspected the storm I was about to unleash. Mark and Anna both showed up, acting as if nothing was wrong. Watching them pretend infuriated me, but I smiled and played along one last time. After dinner, when it came time for our annual tradition of sharing what we're grateful for, I stood up. Steady. This year, I'm grateful for the truth, I announced, looking directly at Mark and Anna. The room quieted in an instant. Mark's face went pale. Anna nearly dropped her glass. Before they could utter a word, I turned on the TV and hit play on a prepared slideshow. At first, family photos appeared, then switched to screenshots of Mark and Anna's text messages. Explicit, undeniable. A ripple of gasps spread through the living room. Then, on the screen, a video began to play, grainy footage of my husband and my sister tangled together on our couch. The room descended into stunned silence. You could have heard a pin drop. My father reacted first. He exploded in fury, ordering Mark out of the house. Mark stammered pathetic excuses, but my father advanced on him with rage in his eyes. Mark bolted for the door in disgrace. My mother, tears in her eyes, turned to Anna and whispered, "How could you?" Anna could only sob, reaching out to Mom, but no comfort came. In a matter of moments, both my husband and my sister fled that house, leaving behind a stunned, heartbroken family. After they left, a heavy silence fell. I stood there trembling, until my relatives slowly gathered around me. They were shocked and hurt, but their arms encircled me, offering support. I knew then I wasn't alone. In the days that followed, I filed for divorce. With all the evidence I'd collected, it was finalized swiftly. Word of what happened spread through our community. Mark's reputation was destroyed. He even lost his job once the affair became the talk of his workplace. Anna couldn't bear the shame. She moved away to start over. Not that it mattered. Any relationship built on betrayal was doomed from the start. And me? I'm moving forward. It still hurts, but I'm finding strength I never knew I had, rising from the ashes of what they did. I took back control of my life. Exposing their betrayal freed me from it. I wonder, would you have done the same in my position? Some people say seeking revenge makes me as wrong as the ones who hurt me. But I didn't spread lies or harm anyone innocent. I simply revealed the truth. Watching them face the consequences of their own actions gave me the closure I needed. He taught me betrayal. I taught him consequence.
Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for daily karma stories. And remember, what comes around always comes back around.